This is the Jerry Callahan Show.
So what did I miss? Anything go on the last week or so? I was out of the country. I was visiting Denmark and Norway. It was an amazing trip. I followed the news, of course. I had my phone. I missed the overthrow of the U.S. government, I believe. I missed a coup orchestrated by Barack Obama. Joe Biden is no longer the nominee. He's barely the president. And now we have the gaslighting of the American public like we've never seen before. The media did a little journalism for a couple of weeks because the goal was to get Joe out, get Kamala in. And now they have a nominee who didn't receive a single vote in the primary, and she's going to restore democracy. She is going to protect democracy, and the media is all in. It's just the most incredible development I think I've ever seen. The people who told you Joe Biden couldn't do it, couldn't run, couldn't govern, couldn't be president anymore, they're good. They're done with him, shoved him aside, and now they're in love with Kamala Harris. They are literally getting chills. They're so excited. She is a cultural icon, according to one CNN commentator. We will get to that. We have to start, I think, with the Olympic opening ceremonies, though, because I was sitting in a hotel lobby in a really remote part of Norway along the fjords. And they had the TV on in the lobby, and people were gathering around to see the opening ceremonies. They were excited. There were people from everywhere, all kinds of different languages, people from all kinds of different countries, and everybody. I mean, there were probably, 14, 15 people gathered around the TV. I step up, curious, and they were all disgusted. This was absolutely sickening what the French Olympic Committee decided to open the Olympics with. A bunch of freaks, a bunch of trans women and blue guys, and of course, children. They couldn't do this without the children. They have to involve the children. And I would say, I don't know, I guess the blue guy was the highlight. This guy we're looking at right now, I'm pretty sure that's Mitt Romney. He tweeted after the ceremony that he thought it was great. He loved the opening ceremonies. Of course you did, Mitt. And so did Jill Biden. Jill said it was spectacular. Most normal people from anywhere, from all over the place, were absolutely nauseated by this display. And I would say, I don't know if you agree with me on this, Ironhead, the highlight was one of the freaks, one of the trans freaks, just letting it all hang out, on stage with children. We got to see one of the fellas' testicles. Yes, there's some controversy here. Some people say it's not a testicle. There it is. There it is with the finger pointing at it. One of the performers just kind of let it all hang out there. And I don't know about you, but anytime, one of the boys is hanging out there, you can feel it, right? You know it. It's not an accident. This guy just let it hang out in front of the kids on stage with hundreds of millions of people watching around the world. This is who they decided should open the Olympics. This is the country of France, which I believe has lots of artists, lots of creative people. This thing was in the planning for 7 years. All right. One of the great community notes, I don't believe it, but when this photo was posted of this guy letting his testicle hang out in front of children, when it was posted, they said, community notes said, it's not really his testicle. It's a tear in his pantyhose. You can't make this up. A tear. That's actually a tear in his pantyhose. Go ahead. Focus in on it again, Ironhead. You tell me. You think that's a testicle or a tear in his pantyhose?
That is a 1,000% a ball sack, Jerry.
Yes, that is a ball sack right there. If you don't know, ladies, your ball sack can't hang out without you knowing it. So he knowingly let it hang out on stage in front of the world. And then the usual suspects defended this, said it was really entertaining. It was disgusting. And then they mocked the Last Supper. Yes, that was part of the opening ceremonies, mocking the Last Supper. And who played Jesus? An obese woman. I think it's a woman. She was one of the only non-trans people up on stage, but a really, really heavy girl played Jesus, and they choreographed it to look just like the Last Supper. They mocked Christianity in a Christian country in front of hundreds of millions of Christians. That was their choice. And most people, when I was tweeting about it, responded by saying they're not watching. They're boycotting the Olympics. I don't know about boycotting, but I will say this: I am less interested in the Olympics after this. These people, I said this when it first broke. I hope it rains every day for 2 weeks. I'm rooting for chaos. Maybe train derailments. Maybe crowd problems. I hope they have the worst Olympics ever. That's what I hope, and I hope South Sudan beats Steve Kerr and LeBron James. All right, I said it. I'm rooting against the U.S. men's basketball team because I can't stand Steve Kerr or LeBron James. LeBron James, who, by the way, sat down for the national anthem in the first game against Serbia. He didn't stand for the anthem at the Olympics. It's just incredible. These people have no pride. I mean, they have no decency. Just a disgusting display. There it is on the screen. That is mocking the Last Supper. The French people, they have lots of things to celebrate, right? Historically, lots of artists and performers and creators, and they chose this. This is what they chose when they get the chance to perform in front of the world. It truly was a disgusting, nauseating display. And they apologized for it when it was over. They said this was a celebration of tolerance. This was a celebration of inclusivity. Sure it was. I have the same question everybody asks when they do this. How about you do this? How about you mock Islam? What do you think? What do you say? You want to be, iconoclasts? You want to mock a religion, one of the world's big religions? How about you do Islam? Give it a shot. See what happens. They know Christians will just roll over and take it. And some will even say, it was spectacular. That's the word. Jill Biden, Dr. Jill, an alleged Christian, our essentially our president, our de facto president for the next 4 months. Do we have Jill Biden reaction to this disgusting performance at the Olympics? Here she is, our first lady.
It was spectacular. The rain did not dampen our spirits. And Casey, honestly, every step of the way, I was thinking to myself, oh my God, how are we going to top this? How are we going to top this? So, okay, so Paris has the, Eiffel Tower, but we have Hollywood and right, and the magic of Hollywood that makes all dreams come true. So I think we're going to be okay.
Yeah, we have the Olympics in 4 years. That's what I'm afraid of. We will top that. You think right now someone in the U.S. Olympic Committee saying, can we get, I don't know, RuPaul? How about we get a whole, well, you have to have kids too. You can't just have trans women. You need children involved. You have to involve the children. It's a rule. When you're actually, letting your package hang out in the wind, you have to have kids nearby because that makes it exciting and dangerous. That's what these people really enjoy. That's the fetish here. We need to mock women, mock Christianity, and we need to involve the children. So somebody in the U.S. right now, someone close to the U.S. Olympic Committee is planning to do this in L.A. in 4 years. And she's right. We probably will top it. But
be straight out of West Hollywood.
Right. It'll be regrettable. Put it that way. It's amazing. 20 years ago, 30 years ago, these performances were majestic. They celebrated the country that was hosting the Olympics. They were classy. They were entertaining. Now we're celebrating the freaks. Is what we do in Western culture right now. We celebrate the freaks, the 1%, the less than 1%. They're in control, and they want you to know it. This was them throwing it in the face of Christians and decent people everywhere. See, we control things here. We're in charge. Yeah, we're the captain now. Watch us. We're gonna. The first thing I saw was the bearded lady, and I just said, they're doing it again. They're letting these freaks control the show. Here we go, bunch of trans women dancing and jumping around stage with children. Disgusting. And she's disgusting too, by the way, Jill Biden. All right, let's get to the Bidens. The idea, we had, I would say, about 3 weeks of journalism in this country where they said Joe Biden is no longer fit to serve. Joe Biden has dementia. It's time for Joe Biden to step aside. There was a coup. Make no mistake. Barack Obama was behind this. His minions went to work. According to journalist Seymour Hersh, they threatened by, and I believe this 100%. I don't believe everything Seymour Hersh reports, but there was pressure placed on Joe Biden. If he wouldn't step aside, if he didn't acquiesce to their plan, they would, Kamala Harris would invoke the 25th Amendment, meaning he's not fit, and remove him from office. He could step aside and be hailed as a hero, who put country and party over self. So Biden agreed to it. We don't know yet what the quid pro quo was, but they probably paid him. They probably made him an offer he couldn't refuse. So he agrees to step aside. Then the woman who was going to invoke the 25th said, Joe Biden's like family. I love Joe Biden. He's been a great president. And right there and then, that brief moment, that brief period of time where journalists did journalism, it ended. They went back to doing what they do, carrying the water of the Democrat Party and gaslighting the country. I hate the term gaslighting, but it applies. We have seen in the last week one of the most incredible propaganda campaigns for the Biden administration. I mean, for the Harris administration, for the Harris campaign. I knew it would be bad when they finally got Joe to step aside. I knew they would all jump aboard the Kamala Harris train because there's one goal. Every single journalist in the mainstream journalist, every member of the mainstream media has one goal: stop Trump. Do not let Trump return to the White House. They hate him with the fury of 1,000 suns, and they will do anything to stop Trump. Keep that in mind when you watch any of these people, when you hear from any of these Stephanopouloses and Jonathan Karls and Rachel Maddows and Chris Hayes. They just want to stop Trump. So what do? They decide we're going all in on Kamala, and we can't tell you the truth about Kamala Harris. They can't. She was the most liberal member of the Senate. We know that. She is an absolute radical in every way. As I said 2 weeks ago, there's nothing redeeming about her. There's nothing positive they can say about her. They know her policies are out there on the radical fringe. She is as radical, as liberal, as anti-American as it gets. She was the border czar. That's point number one. Everyone knew she was the border czar, but the memo went out. The memo went out from the DNC, from the Harris campaign, just claimed that she was never the border czar. And they did it. Same people who said she was the border czar, whatever, in the last 3 years, turn around and say she was never the border czar. So they just flat out lie. That's what they have to do. They have no choice. They know she is a terrible candidate, not just a run-of-the-mill Democrat. She is the worst of the worst. You could take anybody out of the Senate, the House, any governor, and it would be a better candidate. They know she's dumb. They know she's phony. They know she's a little tyrant who 90% of her staff has quit in the last 3 years, has said she is a terrible boss, a terrible person. They talk about her screaming and yelling at them and not reading the briefings and not being prepared. And they now want you to believe this is the answer to their problems. This is the cultural icon they have running against Trump. and they are just flat out lying. It's an incredible. Today, I just tweeted this out. Grabian, who does a great job, Tom Elliott's site, they monitored MSNBC and CNN in the last 2 days or over the weekend. They referred to J.D. Vance as a weirdo, as weird, 150 times. That is a talking point direct from the Harris campaign, telling them to paint J.D. Vance as weird. A reminder, the first public appearance Harris made when she became the nominee was on RuPaul's Drag Race on the show. This is a woman who turned her back on Benjamin Netanyahu, didn't show up at his speech. She's never met with any of the Gold Star families that she and Biden, who lost their family members in the disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan, never met with them, never met with any of the families of the victims of her open border. But she met with RuPaul immediately after becoming the nominee. She wants you to think J.D. Vance is a weirdo. And what is the mainstream media doing? They are dutifully carrying out her orders. It's something to behold what you're seeing right now. You're seeing a mainstream media who's just just abandoning all ethics, all professional standards, all dignity to convince you that this woman is not a menace, that she's not a radical left-winger who believes in open borders. And it's a hard thing to do because she's been a senator. She's been an attorney general. She's been vice president for 3.5 years. So we have receipts. They're doing this despite all the evidence, all the videos, all the speeches, all the statements, just telling you, don't believe your lying eyes. She was never the border czar. She was never a radical left-wing prosecutor. This is a Soros DA now running at the top of the ticket for president. And they want you to think she's just a good old liberal, good old Democrat. You know, she's the alternative to the evil orange man. Let's go through the list. What do you got there, Ironhead? I'm going to go through the list of things she believes, and they will tell you, don't believe it. Don't listen to her then. Listen to her now. We have that video of her going through all her, the montage of all her insane, radical beliefs. It's a remarkable thing. They don't want you to see this. In fact, I'll be surprised if these videos aren't taken down, because many of the social media companies and Google are now in full save Kamala mode. You can't even, you do a search on Google of the Trump assassination attempt, it doesn't show you anything. They want you to think Trump there wasn't an actual attempt on his life. We will get to that snake, Chris Wray, another Democrat operative pretending to be the FBI director. But watch this video and tell me that they're not going to have to just lie to you for the next 99 days and convince you that she isn't by far the most radical liberal candidate for president we have ever seen. Watch this.
I am Kamala Harris. My pronouns are she and her.
You're considered the most liberal United States senator. Well, actually, the nonpartisan GovTrack has rated you as the most liberal senator.
Do you have any plans to visit the border?
We are going to the border. We've been to the border.
You haven't been to the border.
And I haven't been to Europe.
I am in favor of saying that we're not going to treat people who are undocumented and cross borders criminals. That's correct. That is correct.
A lot of the signs at the rally you just held were people standing there saying, abolish ICE.
Yeah.
Is that a position that you agree with?
We need to probably think about starting from scratch.
So you support giving universal health care, Medicare for all to people who are in this country illegally?
I am opposed to any policy that would deny in our country any human being public health, period. are you for defunding the police?
How are you defining defund the police? It's actually wrong and backward to think that more police officers will create more safety. We need to get rid of money bail.
Convicted, in prison, like the Boston Marathon bomber, on death row, people who are convicted of sexual assault, they should be able to vote?
I think we should have that conversation. I am prepared to get rid of the filibuster to pass a Green New Deal. I have always supported Medicare for all. I was very happy to sign on to Bernie's bill, and I give Bernie, frankly, a lot of credit. There's no question I'm in favor of banning fracking.
Do you ban plastic straws?
I think we should.
Good luck. I mean, it's not easy to carry her water, to spread this propaganda, but they will do it. They will do their best. That's how much they hate Donald Trump. I'm going to go through the list of things Kamala Harris believes, of positions she has held in her less than distinguished career, and tell you and ask you, is this who we want as president of the United States? I mean, it's one thing to be a senator from California. California's gone. It's lost. I mean, that's not really part of this country anymore. It is Venezuela. I mean, once they rigged the election in Venezuela and keep Maduro in power, that's what California is. But they're going to try their best, man. It's going to be an amazing thing to watch for the next 99 days. We'll go through that. And we have Liz Warren saying the quiet part out loud of what you can expect from President Kamala Harris. I know it's kind of a cliche to say this country is gone. It's lost if she wins, if Trump loses. But this country is lost. It is gone. The country we knew is over if she wins. It's that simple. We'll get to that. And this snake, Christopher Wray, this was the most incredible moment. In front of Congress, he revealed himself to be just another hack who is in on this effort to lie to the American public about what Donald Trump went through on July 13th. He wasn't, well, maybe he was shot. Maybe he wasn't. Don't believe your lie. Don't believe the videos you saw. Listen to this piece of garbage who controls the FBI for 6 more months. We'll get to that and lots more. But first,
excuse me.
Kamala Harris once gave a speech to a Muslim group and said she wanted to stop people from using the term radical Islamic terror. She said it leads to Islamophobia. She said she no longer wants people to use the term illegal aliens. That's who we want as a president, the president representing the leader of the free world who doesn't want to use the term radical Islamic terror after the disgusting protest in D.C., a half mile from the Capitol, where they assaulted cops, where they waved the Hezbollah flag, where they painted Hamas is coming on a monument. And by the way, nobody went to jail. Charges were dropped. Someone has to explain. I still don't understand that. How you can do that on live TV, paint a monument, write Hamas, a group that is holding Americans hostage as we speak. You can celebrate that group and face no consequences. Who makes that call? I mean, who decides? I know that Kamala Harris and her ilk, I know that's her base. I know those are her supporters who hate this country, who hate Israel. But you don't even charge them with a misdemeanor? You don't have any price to pay when you desecrate monuments, assault cops, chant your support for terrorists who killed Americans on October 7th and still hold Americans hostage? I'm telling you, that they control everything right now. The radicals, the fringe control everything, at least until November 5th. But quick rundown. Kamala, the moderate who gives the media chills when she speaks because she's a cultural icon. Just a quick rundown. She supported the rioters in Minneapolis after George Floyd died of an overdose resisting arrest. She literally asked people to donate to the bail fund which then bailed out. And I mean, real money too. They put up 10 grand for one guy, 5 grand, 3 grand. They bailed out the dregs of society, many of whom went on to commit more violent crime. The media told us that she didn't actually do that. The tweet she posted asking people to give to bail out violent criminals who burned down Minneapolis is still up. And they want you to think, oh no, she didn't do that. They will lie about anything and everything to support this woman. She wants to abolish ICE, compared it to the KKK. In a live hearing on Capitol Hill, she compared ICE to the Ku Klux Klan. She wants to provide Medicare for illegal aliens that would cost hundreds of billions of dollars. She wants to ban fracking, ban plastic straws. She wants to defund the police. She wants to base everything on equity, which, by the way, is communism. She wants everybody to reach the same outcome. She wants to open the border or keep the border open. And she doesn't want you to call the people crossing the border and killing Americans illegal aliens. She doesn't care about the crime they commit. She doesn't care about fentanyl. She doesn't care that neighborhoods have been overrun. She wants more illegal aliens. And what does she want to do when they get here? She wants to make them citizens. She wants them to vote. Liz Warren on Sunday, I believe that was yesterday. I'm a little confused. My watch is still on European time, but I believe this was yesterday with Jake Tapper. Listen to what Liz Warren admits the plan is if Kamala Harris wins the White House. Go ahead.
Border, to have more resources in the states and cities that are supporting migrants. And I believe we need to create a pathway to citizenship. All of that is a part of what we need to do for comprehensive immigration reform. Kamala Harris will work with Congress and get that done.
We'll get that done. We'll provide a path for citizenship. Now, we know they've let in more than 10 million. I believe the number is 15 million illegal aliens. She wins the White House. She wants to make them citizens. Now, I assume, Jake Tapper was hoping she wouldn't admit that. We're supposed to keep it a secret, Liz. You're not supposed to say it out loud. But Liz Warren, not the brightest woman in Congress, in the Senate, she just told you what Kamala Harris' plan is. Make them citizens. Give them a right to vote. Let them have all the benefits of citizenship. The people who broke our laws, came here legally, are here now. They want to make them all citizens. Do you think the media is going to dig deep on that? What will happen to this country if 15 million illegal aliens instantly become citizens? No, just try to keep it under your hat, could you please? And here's the other thing I want you to believe, that she's got substance. She's a woman of substance, that she's a good speaker. Let's remind everybody, she is a vapid, vacuous, soulless moron. She doesn't have a core belief in her soul. She says whatever is expedient at the moment. She doesn't really believe in anything. She's just a political creature, an empty, soulless political creature. That's the truth about her. That's what we've seen for 3.5 years. She's the worst candidate. She's worse than Joe Biden. I mean, she doesn't have dementia, but she has all the radical Biden beliefs and then some. There has never been anything like this in a national election. This is your choice. You choose a woman who wants to open the borders, defund police, get rid of fracking, stop oil. That's Kamala Harris. That's the choice. But they hate the other guys so much that they will do everything they can to carry out this amazing propaganda campaign. Let's get to that Van Jones cut. This was after Biden stepped down, and they knew they had to do whatever it took to convince the public that she is a viable candidate. that she is not just this empty suit who believes in nothing. I mean, a month ago, nobody thought Kamala Harris was a good candidate. 3 months ago, they were calling for her to step aside and let someone else step in the void, be the candidate, someone who could actually put a sentence together. I mean, how many times have we sat here and played you clips from this just empty-headed idiot? That's what she is. I'm sorry. That's what she is. She's not smart. She's not articulate. She believes in nothing. But they have to convince you otherwise. This is the most Orwellian thing. Let's tell people up is down, right is right, right is wrong. The sky is not blue. That's what we're living through right now. Listen to this.
Free at last, free at last. Kamala Harris is unleashed. She's just brilliant. She's just, the energy that's coming off of her is the energy that's coming off of the American people. Look, I mean, this is 2008 vibes already. She's done in literally 48 hours things that were considered impossible. She got the nomination. She took over cultural. She's a cultural phenomenon now. TikTok loves her. She raised more money than anybody. She signed up 50,000 people. You can do your whole career and not get 50,000 volunteers. She did it in 48 hours. You are witnessing the birth of a cultural phenomenon, and you need a cultural phenomenon to stop a cultural phenomenon. Donald Trump is a cultural phenomenon. So now you've got two superpowers colliding, but this one just came out of nowhere. Listen, a week ago, 2 weeks ago, people were like, Kamala Harris, I don't know. She can't win. I don't like her, blah, blah, blah. All those people are marching in line and getting information. It's unbelievable to watch.
Unbelievable to watch. To watch a cultural phenomenon. Again, tell me one thing she's done, said, one bill she's introduced. She believes in the Green New Deal, which would cost $32 trillion. She believes in destroying the U.S. economy. And he says she's brilliant. Brilliant? A month ago, nobody said she was brilliant. Hell, 2 weeks ago, nobody believed she was brilliant. And now she's brilliant. And she's a cultural phenomenon. They're getting chills again. He's right. 2008, they got thrills up their legs over Barack Obama. And they want you to think, it's the same feeling. Because this woman, because she's a woman and a woman of color, her mother, I believe, is Indian. Her father's from Jamaican descent. Her father's, her great-great-grandparents were slave traders. And now they want you to think, if you don't like her, if you don't believe in open borders and defunding the police and bailing out violent criminals, it's just because she's a woman and a woman of color. You just don't like women of color. What if she were white? What if she were a man? Would they say you don't like her because you don't like him because of her policies? No, it's just because who she is. Give me that clip where they're getting chills. These are actual media people. I mean, MSNBC and CNN, but they're actual media people. This is how they react to this absolutely vapid soul getting essentially the nominee after, by the way, getting no votes. She got no votes. The last time she ran on her own, she didn't even make it to Iowa. She was polling at 1 or 2%. She didn't even make it to California, her home state, because she was so unpopular. Nobody supported her then, and nobody would support her now if they didn't lie to your face. Listen to this.
I'm jumping out of my seat over here watching this. I think people have been thirsting for this.
And I'll just say this, and I'm with Tim. I'm jumping out of my seat higher than you, my brother. I'm just going to say that.
There was a twinkle in her eye. There was a kick in her step that, when you're vice president, you're not loose. You can't, there's somebody above you. There's somebody, you don't want to overshadow them. And this was quite the coming out. And I got chills when she said, Donald Trump, I know your type. I was blown away. I was like, I kind of fell in love with her. I thought she was smart, engaging. She's funny, feisty, twinkle in your eye, punch you in the gut. I mean, everything you kind of want. And I just thought it was a great, great opening act.
She looked completely comfortable tonight with the words she was speaking. They felt organic and genuine.
Oh my God. There's nothing genuine. Nothing. This is the least genuine candidate we've ever seen. And they're going to tell you for the next 99 days that she's Barack Obama, that she's charismatic, that she's brilliant. I've never seen anything like that. I mean, obviously, the media lies every day. It's what they do, especially since Trump came on the scene. They will do anything and everything in their power to stop Trump. And they will lie to you, by the way, about polls getting a big bounce. They really like her in the Rust Belt. My ass, they don't like her. They never did. They won't like her if you tell the truth about her. And that's one thing that they just won't do. They will not tell you the truth about this pathetic, awful, dreadful candidate. That's their girl, and they're going to back her because they have no choice at this point. She's the candidate. And they won't even tell you the truth about how she took power, forcing Joe Biden out against his will, pressuring him to step aside and let her take the reins. And she will have to debate Donald Trump. That'll be interesting. And again, she'll just lie to you. But what do you got? What are you showing me here? Yeah, this is the story from Seymour Hersh. Says Obama was deeply involved with the coup, met with Biden, told him he's got to go. And he did. They removed him and replaced him, threatened him with the 25th Amendment. Who was behind it? Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, Hakeem Jeffries, and Barack Obama. You get out now, and we will call you a hero. We will call you George Washington and say you put country and party over self, which is such a lie. And these same people will tell you that Donald Trump is a threat to democracy. I'm sorry, that issue, that talking point is gone. You cannot tell us she's going to restore democracy when she's the nominee, despite getting 0 votes. And we got to do this for 99 more days. Listen to these lies. Watch this gaslighting campaign. Truly, and the worst one of all. I'm just going to say this. I hate Christopher Wray. I hope the first thing Donald Trump does, if he wins, and I have my doubts at this point, because these people are ruthless. They will cheat. They will lie. They will do anything to stop Donald Trump. It's going to be a wild 99 days because they will stop at nothing. It's going to get ugly. It's going to get nasty. And we haven't seen anything yet. But we're going to get to Christopher Wray. And we'll get to the latest Biden voters who are shocked that Joe Biden did what he said he would do and open the borders and ruin their neighborhood. God, these people are just amazing. We'll get to that and more. But first.
Excuse me.
Now, I watch July 13th. I was watching live on Newsmax when Thomas Crooks took a shot at Donald Trump, hit him in the ear, came within a quarter of an inch of murdering him. We saw it live. It happened live on television. It happened live at a rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. I never thought there would be any gray area. Yes, we saw him get shot. The former president, hopefully the next president, got shot on live TV. It's now been 16 days since the attempted assassination, and they'd like to move on. We want to move on and just, let's talk about the campaign. It's over with. We still don't know how this was allowed to happen. We still don't know why the Secret Service didn't have someone on that roof. We still don't know how this 20-year-old loser, this punk, was able to climb on that roof with an AR-15 and almost kill Donald Trump. Well, Christopher Wray goes in front of Congress, and this didn't get enough coverage. This was reprehensible. He knows Trump was shot. Everybody knows Trump was shot, but he's feeding in. He's part of the deep state. That's what he is. He is the face of the deep state. He's a snake. He's a liar. He's an operative of the establishment, of the regime, the Biden-Harris regime. He works for them. He does whatever he has to do to help them. That's why, he's why the people who defaced the monuments, talked to cops, waved the Hezbollah flags, those people face no charges. On the same day that those people were released, charges dropped, they were still arresting January 6 defendants. A great-grandmother is going to jail in August for, they tried to put her in prison for 2 years for walking in the Capitol and praying. The guy who painted Hamas on the monument, who was clear, you could see him, he walked out of court, charges dropped, no charges. It's this guy. It's why is there a double standard? Why is there a two-tiered system? This guy, because he's a Democrat who hates Trump and wants to help Harris. He was being questioned by Jim Jordan. Listen to what he said about the shooting. Go ahead.
I think with respect to former President Trump, there's some question about whether or not it's a bullet or shrapnel that that hit his ear. So it's conceivable. Although, as I sit here right now, I don't know whether that bullet, in addition to causing the grazing, could have also landed somewhere else. But I believe we've accounted for all of the shots and the cartridges. So let us.
I mean, there wasn't a big deal made out of that. There should have been. He knows it was a bullet. We saw it. Everyone knows it was a bullet. Hell, there's a picture. A New York Times photographer caught a picture of the bullet in the air before it hit his ear. It wasn't shrapnel. The FBI had to release a statement saying, yes, he was hit by a bullet. The director of the FBI said, there's still some question. It's just playing into a Democrat talking point. That's all it is. This was so revealing. This explains everything. That's all this hack, this piece of crap. That's all he is another arm, another surrogate of the Harris campaign. You saw it. We all saw it. And then they said, well, we're not sure it was a bullet. I get these messages all the time on Twitter saying he wasn't shot. Of course he was shot. Of course. They just want you to move on. They don't want you to know why he was shot, how he was shot, because they failed. Now we know the local cops, local SWAT teams never communicated with the Secret Service. They had no communication. They allowed the president to get shot, and they want you to just move on. Trump, by the way, announced he's going back to Butler, Pennsylvania to do a rally. I hope he brings his own security, because Secret Service doesn't give a damn what happens to Donald Trump. That is a great move, by the way. That is good Trump right there. Go back. Don't listen to them. They want him to stop doing rallies. That's his most effective campaign strategy, these rallies, these big rallies. And it draws a real contrast to the Democrat, whether it was Biden or now Harris. They can't draw a crowd. They can't hold a rally because people will say, there's no enthusiasm. There's no support. They can't fill an arena. They can't draw 15,000 to some field in Butler, Pennsylvania. So they say, hey, you don't want to take any risks. Don't hold any more rallies. And Trump's saying, F you. We're holding a rally and we're going back to Butler. And hopefully he will have security. Maybe the local cops will take over because Secret Service doesn't give a damn because of people like him who don't care. They don't care what happens to Trump. They want him stopped. They know he's not a threat to democracy. He's a threat to Democrats. And that's what this guy is. Just another Democrat. All right. We got to get to the, do I have time for this New York neighborhood? I love this story. I want to get to the Kilmade thing that I missed too. But This is in Clinton Hill, New York. They have put more than 4,000 illegal aliens in their neighborhood in Clinton, New York, essentially destroyed the neighborhood, more or less. I mean, there's crime, there's gangs, violence. These people can't walk the streets because Joe Biden and Kamala Harris put these future Democrat voters into their neighborhood. And the people are upset, man. They're really angry that they're ruining their neighborhood. Clinton, New York, Clinton Hills, New York, voted 97% for Joe Biden. They voted for this, and now they can't believe it's actually happening. I love, more than anything, I love when people realize elections have consequences, that the guy who promised to open the border and bring in millions of illegal aliens actually did what he said he was going to do. Listen to these and look at these disillusioned Democrats. Go ahead.
Some here are frightened now just to go outside.
Now it feels like that whole section
doing that, and that's what
is just not available to the community
asking our local elected
anymore. So our parks are not available to
Can't go there.
anymore.
Search out and give us a list of all of the empty lots that there are.
Migrants from a 4,000 bed shelter nearby fill the sidewalks. They sit on park benches, on stoops and curbs, under the BQE overpass. So many people crowded in here, residents feared what was coming.
We have been witnessing the escalation in violence on the street and in the community for months now.
We've been pleading with the mayor, as we've seen increased violence, that this was going to be inevitable.
And on Sunday night, it came. 2 people were murdered here, a third critically injured just outside one of the 2 adjacent shelters in Clinton Hill. It is a neighborhood now, pleading for help. Residents came together tonight to demand the city provide more protection for them now and move to downsize the 2 enormous and crowded migrant shelters in Clinton Hill.
There is simply no universe where you can cram 4,000 vulnerable people together safely. Do you believe us now? How many more murders will it take?
This video is responsible for the 2 Sunday night murders. In the video, he appears to be putting a gun in his waistband. The mayor today didn't offer much hope, saying police are looking at a violent Venezuelan street gang as the people behind the shootings.
They're extremely dangerous. We're dealing with violent individuals that are not representative of the overwhelming number of people who are coming here as migrant and asylum seekers.
No one has yet been arrested for those murders on Sunday night, and that definitely hasn't made anyone here feel any safer. Police say they know who they're looking for. They just haven't found him yet. In Clinton Hill, Jim Dolan, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
That is a vote right there. A vote for Kamala Harris is a vote for more of that, much, much more. Again, we can't do it. This country can't survive. If you're going to have this for 4 more years, these people, these Democrats are going to vote for Kamala Harris. They're going to vote for more of this, more violence, more chaos, more devastation of their communities. That right there, that report from a local station in New York, that should be a campaign ad for Donald Trump. I mean, there's plenty of material with Kamala Harris. You know, the border czar talking about opening the border. But how can you vote for more of that? How can you turn around in November and say, yes, we'd like to continue this for 4 more years. We'd like to destroy our country. That's what you're voting for if you vote for Kamala Harris. And you know what? We should do this before we go. Give me the white women for Kamala Harris. You know, if you're bad in this life, you spend eternity in hell. That's what we've been told. You go to hell. Well, we got to look this weekend at hell. These are white women in a Zoom call, including Megan Rapinoe and Pink, talking about how they have to, help BIPOC women, black women, in their struggle. These are Harris voters. This is who you're supporting. This is who you're aligning yourself with. If you're a Kamala Harris supporter, watch this and tell me that you want to be one of them. Go ahead.
Ariel Fodor, affectionately known as Mrs. Frazzle, to her combined audience of over 1.5 million followers, is here to help gentle parent us through this election.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. I am so honored to speak today. I am like shaking to just be among such incredible company. We are here because, as if you were here earlier, you've heard BIPOC women have tapped us in as white women to step up, listen, and get involved this election season. This is a really important time, and we all need to use our voices and influence for the greater good. No matter who you are all influencers in some way. So tonight, I'm going to share some do's and don'ts for getting involved in politics online and navigating the toxicity that comes with it. And spoiler alert, as much as the toxicity can come from the outside, it can come from us too. So first, don't isolate yourself. We can do our best work when we're in community together like we are tonight, because the toxic feels smaller when we support each other. But don't make it about yourself. White women, we need to use our privilege to make positive changes. If you find yourself talking over or speaking for BIPOC individuals, or God forbid, correcting them,
oh my God,
just take
shut
a beat.
up.
And instead we can put our listening ears on.
There's some guy, I think, who has to go home to that tonight.
Unlikely.
Who has to listen to that person. There is your Democrat voter right there. There's your Kamala Harris supporter right there. You want to be on her team? You want to be one of them? These people are just the worst. She doesn't care about the border. She doesn't care that neighborhood in New York was overrun. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that violent crime is up because we're allowing violent criminal gangs into this country and terrorists. MS-13 it doesn't care. They have one thing in common. All those women on the screen, they hate Trump with a passion, and they don't care that their candidate is inept, incompetent, empty-headed. They don't care. They're all in, and so is the media. And it's going to get worse, and we'll be here for it. I'm looking forward to it. I never got to the Kilmeade story. I can do it another day. One of the worst lies you've ever heard from these people, lying about what Brian Kilmeade said. I'll do it. I'll do it tomorrow, maybe, or sometime this week. But we will leave it there for today, this crazy Monday. Doesn't it feel like stuff is about to just explode and get crazier than ever? They know they have no choice. That's what they're left with, lying to you, gaslighting you, telling you Kamala Harris is Barack Obama. That's where we are right now. And it's going to get worse. But that'll do it for today. Thanks for listening. Thanks, Ironhead. I'm Jerry Callahan. This is